making this video to Lenon Honor, LenonHonorFilms.com. Lenon had a falling out with me by his own choice. Um, I was posting in his Facebook, he made me his friend, and I challenged his viewpoints, and then I stated I knew Jerry, Ryan, Farrakhan, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, all of whom dedicate their entire existence here on Earth to me, and everybody that knows me knows it's true. So then Lennon Honor accused me of being mentally ill on a basis it's not true. So um, my mother has been trying to get me to go after the mental health industry by making me a victim of the mental health industry. And I'm not into that coercion, those type of games. And Lennon Honor, by taking the favorable position to my mother, shows that he's CIA. Also, the tactics that Lennon used show that he is CIA. The training, I can identify CIA training immediately, and Lennon demonstrated that training in exactness. So my goal is that Lennon Honor is very skilled and very insightful on many things. It would be intelligent to get him to reveal other truths, like maybe he's from Saturn and he's not from Earth, and he's going to lie about that as everybody that is not from Earth, except Sammy Hagar and Nichelle Nichols. It's interesting that I posted Nichelle Nichols' URL showing that she's in, profiled in front of Saturn, as she is the queen of Saturn. That Lennon Honor would say that that is not true, or that's something about Star Trek. There is no Star Trek that ever included the planet Saturn. So that Nichelle Nichols puts herself in front of Saturn, it's to indicate that it's her home. And I think Lennon is smart enough to do that, or recognize that. The other thing about Lennon is that he removed the Borg agenda videos after I started watching them, and my mother, illegally surveilling me, knows I was watching them. So there's information or something in numbers 65 through 88 that my mother didn't want me to see. Lennon is lying about those videos being available on his website, because I did watch, I think it was number 82, and I looked for that data. I remembered that data, and I looked for it, and it was nowhere to be found on Lennon's website. And also, the data that's available that Lennon claims is 65 to 88, that amount of data is not on his website. So he's lying. So there's a number of issues that I'd like Lennon to correct. Maybe he doesn't care what I say or think, but I don't think he needs bad videos out accusing him of being CIA and lying and being the devil's advocate. Is how the CIA works. They are on all sides of an issue, and when they create animation or attempt to animate the public, they stage things. Lenon Honor is the devil's advocate to counter what the CIA does. So the CIA is doing all this mind programming and thought control through the media, and then they hired Lennon to expose it. And this is Lennon taking part in thought control by posing being against thought control as he's working for the CIA. So he's counterfeit, and I don't think you should be that way. Um, it's just it's real chintzy and real low level morality that he's engaging in, the deception that he is. And he asks for money, pretending that he's poor. And that may be a CIA cover, but it's pretty well, you know, um, it's obvious. It's pretty well obvious that it's not true that that you know his act of requesting people to donate is just not professional. It's not convincing. So, what I would request, because Lenin does do insightful depth thinking and you know is very dynamic in um, understanding how thought adaptation and thought recognition and synergy through relativity and relational understanding occurs to a subject or to your environment. He could be a great asset if he would come forward and admit that he's not from Earth, and he takes part in a disclosure effort to disclose all the extraterrestrials that are here, human, and those that are able to pose as human when they're originally not human. Um, but I don't think that what he's doing is really, that he's part of a network of the CIA. Everything he's doing is counterfeit. Um, the whole, taking your money or making it so you can't work, and then Lenin coming along and playing the part of saying, "Look, the government is stopping us from working." I mean, that's essentially the sum of what he does. I mean, the government commits a crime, and then they hire him to scream about the government committing the crime, and that's essentially who he is and what he does. So I think Lenin could do more and should do more, on the basis that he's not being honest through what he is, and that's a CIA agent as well as an extraterrestrial. So my point, overall point, is that he should be putting forward an effort of disclosure. Um, I think he'd be better off explaining the other planetary civilizations out there and explaining how relational relationships occur between planets. I mean, this is a whole other area that I know Lenin is skilled in, but instead of doing that, he's playing the government uh, warning guy, to warn that the government's a bad guy, and he's the media and all this and that. Like I said, it's the government keeps us from getting jobs, and they hire Lenin to tell us that the government is keeping us from getting jobs. The whole thing could be different. Lenin could be doing more, and I don't appreciate him playing the role, calling me mentally ill, and on the basis that I said I know the people that are directly responsible for where I'm at in my life. So I think Lenin should do some growing up. I also noticed that he was having difficult relations with other people too, and telling them when they disagreed with him or they challenged him in a way that he wasn't skilled or expecting, he shut them out. He's not professional in some areas. So overall, the guy's got to clean up his act, and stop being deceptive and stop being a false advocate of righteousness. I mean, if you're working for the CIA, and he is, it's no good. So that's who he is. That's what he's doing, and I hope he becomes more than what he is. I hope he follows my suggestion, because I think there's much more value to be had from him, and I think that what he's doing is having a limited, if any, effect on anybody for the better. I mean, I learned a lot from some of the things he said, but knowing that Jerry Ryan, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg are in control of everything, and they're probably from Alpha Centauri, where Earth has been cordoned off by Alpha Centaurians, and nobody's coming here except through their permission. And Lenin knows this, but Lenin pretends not to know these things. It's no good. So, all right.